Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Origins of Today podcast. So, in today's episode, it is going to be kind of a new format. We're going to be just talking about purely politics, and we're going to get into just the news, the weekly news cycle, kind of. I hope I'm going to be able to do one of these every week. If not, it'll be all right. Maybe we'll do it monthly. But just for now, I'm going to be getting into this week's news. And obviously, it's been a very busy news week. So I'm just going to give you guys my opinion on it. It's not going to be scripted or anything, but I'm just going to give my thoughts. So, yeah, we're going to get straight into it right after this intro.
And some, I assume, are good people.
President note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima.
You need to pray for the good Lord to protect America.
Won the race of discovery against the Germans.
All right, so we're going to be jumping around a little bit. I'm not going to get straight into like what happened on Monday, but first off, I want to talk about this breaking news that came out a couple minutes ago as of when I was recording this. So it was announced that Trump threatens Russia with new sanctions for pounding Ukraine. So this is a direct quote. Based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and no settlement agreement on peace is reached. To Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it's too late. Thank you. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, he's warming up to Putin or whatever. I feel like this is kind of just showing that he just wants peace to happen. Trump's a very pragmatic guy. He wants to have good headlines for him. So if he ends the war in Ukraine, that'd be incredibly good considering that Joe Biden and Obama previously essentially like they were so weak that the war did happen in Ukraine. So I think this would look really good. And now that he's pressuring both sides to come to the table, reach an agreement, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get an agreement within the month. I know Ukraine also came forwards this week. Zelensky said that he would like to sign the mineral deal after his behavior in the Oval Office, which was not in this week's news cycle. Otherwise, I get into that. But so, yeah, I think this could be incredibly beneficial. I think this is going to be it's going to look great on Trump if he does manage to get this deal finished. Obviously, I want the war to end. There are people dying for no reason. I mean, Ukraine's lost practically all of its young male population because of this war. I mean, it really needs to end. All right, getting into kind of another headline on Wednesday, China had told Trump that it will fight till the end in any trade war or any other type of war. So this is a result of Trump tariffing China. This, I think, just restates the fact that we need to refocus on China. Russia should not be our main enemy. China, they're building up their military. They've got a larger navy than us. It's scary. I think like China is being very threatening, especially in just the world stage in general. If they make a move on Taiwan, I think on principle we might have to defend that, and I don't know whether we're actually prepared for that right now. I think the US really, if we want to be successful in the military in our military right now, we need to start investing in drones. As seen by the war in Ukraine and the war in Gaza, drones are essential in modern warfare. I think we're really going to need to get them. Our M1 Abrams tank is essentially obsolete. We need to totally revamp our military. And yeah, I think, gosh, I think if we dig into a war with China, I think it'd be very bloody. I think it'd be over quickly, just based off of the size of our militaries. I don't think we'd be in like a long drawn out war. I think it'd be a very quick war, a bunch of strikes. But I don't want to get into war with China, first off. So they're being very threatening right now. I think this is more of a test of Trump to try to see how he'll respond. I don't think that they're actually going to invade us. I think that they're probably just trying to see, is Trump going to come on strong against us, or is he going to be weaker? Like, are we going to be able to take Taiwan, essentially? That's all China really cares about, is trying to take Taiwan and trying to dominate the global trade stage. So I think this will be interesting to see where this goes. I assume Trump will respond with, "You don't want to fight a war with us," or something like that. If he does respond at all, I think it should be interesting. I wonder if he's going to actually consider this to be a major problem or not. So another thing that was kind of big in this week's news cycle was Trump's address to the joint session of Congress. Contrary to what most people think, that was not a State of the Union. It was merely just him talking to joint session of Congress. It doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same thing. It's set up the same way and everything like that. But so I really liked how Trump came out and he was just like, he started talking to the left side of the aisle and he's like, "You guys are not going to clap for anything I do. Like, you're not." eh, eh, He's like, if I cured cancer, I mean, essentially what he was saying, like, if I cured cancer, you guys want to clap, you know? And I think I, I really like how he called them out on that, because that's so true. They just hate him so much. They don't even care about his policies. And that was really just shown when he brought like a 13-year-old cancer survivor who wanted to be a police officer, and he made him an honorary Secret Service member. And I mean, the Democrats were just, they didn't stand. I think one Democrat stood up and clapped. But besides that, I mean, they sat down. They had little like posters they were waving, like Elon steals or whatever, like just dumb stuff like that. I mean, it was just really immature. Al Green stood up and then he like waved his cane at Trump. It was actually kind of reminiscent of Sumner's caning in it was right before the Civil War, essentially. If you guys know what happened, basically this Democrat, um so Democrat means from the South, essentially. Back then, if you were a Democrat, you were from the South. Democrat politician had a cane and he just started beating up some Republican politician with it. But it was kind of wild. But I've seen a lot of people commenting on that. I don't think Al Green was actually going to beat Trump with a cane. I thought that was an interesting comparison. So yeah, Al Green had to be escorted out because he was making a fool of himself. And yeah, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think this really just proved how kind of the Democrats are just lost at this point. Like, what do they support? If you can't support a kid who was brain can or who had brain cancer, you survived it. You can't even support that, like him surviving or anything like that. You can't support. There was a guy there who got his West Point acceptance letter delivered by the president, and I couldn't even clap for that. I mean, it's just, I mean, these are just simple things. I don't know. I find it a little bit disappointing in the Democrats. I thought they were better than that. You could see in some interviews, a couple of the Democrats afterwards were like, "Yeah, our behavior in there was pretty bad." But no, I honestly think that I feel like Trump did really well in that address. It was actually really cool to watch. The Democrats just kind of falling over their own ideology and stuff like that. It was really interesting to see. But yeah, that's pretty much mostly what happened this week. I'm excited to see what happens next week. And I hope you guys are too, because next week we have our next video dropping. It is going to be on what happens when generals defy their politicians. I hope you guys look forward to that one. Hope y'all have a great day and God bless.